Every unplanned pregnancy is different. It raises a huge number of questions and you may be feeling overwhelmed and confused. Talking to a trained pregnancy counsellor can help you work through the issues you need to consider. Adoption is one of your options, and this DVD aims to explain how adoption works in New Zealand.
I'm pregnant. The school nurse said I was 6 weeks. She's told me about all my options, but my boyfriend doesn't want to know. I think I'd like to adopt, but I don't know if I could do it.
Rachel, you are in a difficult situation, aren't you? Yeah. Adoption is certainly a big decision, and it's not necessarily an easy option, but it's definitely one you could respect yourself for. And you never know, it could turn what feels really negative to you now into something that's a lot more positive than what you could imagine. I think whatever you decide to do, it's really important it's your decision.
When a child is adopted, the birth parent or parents legally give the rights and responsibilities of parenting to the adoptive parents. Most people in New Zealand choose some form of open adoption, where birth parents and the adoptive family remain in contact. The level of contact is decided at the time of the adoption, with the help of social workers. In open adoption, the contact agreement is not legally binding, and it depends on the birth and adoptive families committing together to making it work. Before considering adoption, you may like to see if anyone in your extended family would parent your child. Traditionally, some Māori have chosen whāngai, or informal placements within their whānau.
I'm 17 and I've just found out that I'm pregnant. Do I have to tell my family?
No, you don't have to tell your family, but there are a few things harder to keep than a secret within a family. You might have reasons that you want to keep it a secret. If you do, you should try and find somebody else whose judgment you trust and that you feel you're comfortable confiding in. I myself didn't tell my mum until it was quite far along in the situation, but when I did, I was actually really surprised at how supportive she was and how great she was to have along with me in all the situations that I needed her, and I actually wish I'd told her sooner. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be.
I've heard adoption requires legal papers to be drawn up. Will it cost me anything?
No, it won't cost you anything. The adoptive parents pay for the legal costs, which aren't actually that much anyway, so don't worry too much. I just chose a lawyer that I'd seen around my local area, and he was very sensitive to the situation. He was great to deal with, and he sent me a little update afterwards. It was all very easy.
I'm at school at present. If I go through with the pregnancy, can I keep up with my schooling?
You will need to talk it over with your school because every school is different and every situation is different, but generally the answer is yes, and you'll just need to study by correspondence at the end.
I'm thinking of choosing adoption. Why did you decide to place your child for adoption?
Basically, we made a decision for adoption based on a number of reasons. I think one of the biggest things from our perspective was our age at the time. We both felt maybe a little bit unprepared to deal with bringing up a child. we were both just out of being children ourselves. It's hard to comprehend bringing up a child and trying to teach life lessons when you don't really know any yourself, or you've just learned them yourself anyway. One of the others was certainly our family upbringings. We both had divorced parents. For me, that was a really big driving factor. I wanted to ensure that my daughter had a two-parent family that was stable, and Kim and I had decided that we weren't going to be together from then on anyway.
Often when deciding to place a baby for adoption, there are other people who may want a say in the decision. Many women find their parents want to know more about how adoption works. There is a birth grandmother's story on this DVD. You may find it helpful for your mum to watch it with you. Birth fathers also need to be considered. The new Care of Children Act gives more fathers guardianship rights and responsibilities towards their children than in the past, so it will be important for you to check out what applies in your personal situation. Every unplanned pregnancy is different. Some birth fathers are no longer around, but if your baby's father is still on the scene, he and his family may want to see what this birth father has to say about his experience.
As a birth father, I think in an adoption arrangement, often birth fathers seem to be left out a little bit, and I think maybe that's because of an era gone by and the idea that a lot of biological fathers maybe shirk responsibility, or were at least seen to, whether that be dictated by their parents or whatever. But it's been really rewarding. I'm very positive about it. It's been really hard though too. I mean, you can't take away the fact that you're not getting the opportunity to bring up your child, and it is the best thing for her, but certainly it brings sadness for me. After the adoption went through, I had a varied support network. I had close friends that I spoke with. I also chose to see a counsellor. I found that a lot of people I don't think would take that option. I can only tell you it's been a really positive thing for me. It's helped me work through the issues I've had with the adoption. It's helped me work through the loss. It's helped me work through contact. It's helped me work through other feelings that I've had. It's ever changing. Over the last 5 years, contact's varied. Certainly we've kind of the relationships deepened with more time we spend together. We certainly go on more outings now, and we share some amazing memories together. It's very, very special.
There are many different sources of support available to you during your pregnancy, so don't feel you have to face this alone. Also, the Adoption Information and Services Unit of Child, Youth and Family is there to help you explore all your options. You don't have to wait until you've made a decision before approaching them. If you do choose to adopt, they can help you fill in the forms if you require assistance. If you are considering adoption, you may like to take the time to watch the extra interviews on this DVD to find out more.